Representative Jan Schakowsky suggests that the reason more women don't go into manufacturing is because the name manufacturing sounds like a guy. Again, I always have a problem. Maybe I have tried to curate, to clean up, to make sure that my X timeline, my Twitter timeline, is as clean as possible, in the sense that I don't get misinformation or crazy stuff. Usually lips of TikTok is they just post the clips as is, and they, let's say that they caption the tweets as is, but it's something like, did she really say that? I mean, are we living these days of such kind of satire that this was actually said? Let's watch.
Yesterday, I met with a manufacturing company, but they also are engaged in getting young people more engaged in manufacturing. So I asked them, so how many of those students that are signing up and want to do this, how many are women? And they said, well, I know there's at least 13% or something. It was a low number. And you had mentioned trying to engage more women in manufacturing. I'm just wondering if just the name manufacturing sounds like a guy.
Oh, now I get it. Now I get it. Manufacturing. What the I just down on me. No. This is what this is the are these the politicians that are leading the, is this a conversation? You know that yesterday we had all those clowns that we're talking like, oh yeah, we need a trans sanctuary city. You were, so many of you were on yesterday's live stream. By the way, just to mention that, remember that by the end of that video was a kid speaking. The kid was being effectively exploited by these crazy people. And by the way, I'm going to mention this interesting fact. I uploaded that section of yesterday's show to YouTube, and YouTube told me, hey, I have a problem with this section. And effectively, it was the kid being exploited. I just edited that part out, re-uploaded our discussion of those clowns. This lady doesn't look like a clown, but what she says, what is coming out of her mouth, it's in the same category. It's clownish. So I'm just gonna say that she fits. If the show fits, if you say nonsensical things, well, it's gonna be. But just that we had that. You remember that I was just triggered of they putting a kid talking in behalf of trans people. It was unacceptable. And YouTube also had a problem. YouTube didn't have a problem with the edit without the kid. But the things that we are, the kind of insanity that we're facing. It's like this morning that I open X and I see this guy. Deportation does, in fact, it's Tony of Bay City. Deportation does, in fact, damage the dignity of the person being deported, just as being in prison damages the dignity of the person who has committed a crime. So people like Tony of Bay City, deportation does in fact damage the dignity of the person being deported. Tony, I want to ask a question. Why are people deported in the first place? Maybe they did something wrong? Just as being in prison damages the dignity of the person who has committed a crime. Oh, so being in prison damages the dignity of the person who has committed the crime. So what do you suggest if people that commit crimes are not in prison. Oh no, but this is no. Maybe if the person hadn't committed the crime in the first place, then their dignity wouldn't be jeopardized. These people are real. These people are real. I had to ask the question: is this satire? Is this satire? Tell me it's satire. Must be satire, right? That's why I tell you that when this lady says, you know, maybe manufacturing sounds like a guy thing.
And they said, well, I know there's at least 13% or something. It was a low number. And you had mentioned trying to engage more women in manufacturing. I'm just wondering if just the name manufacturing sounds like a guy.
Like a guy. Like a guy. By the way, the words of the crazy Tony of Bay City, you know, the dignity was in a quote tweet to Matt Walsh, in which Matt Walsh was talking about the letter that the Pope, which, by the way, you know that I come from a Catholic background. I still consider myself Catholicish, full-on Christian, Catholicish, and people were criticizing the Pope for this open letter. I should talk about that letter, by the way. And some were saying you should not criticize the Pope as well. You should not criticize the Pope because that divides the church. And I would say, oh well, that's how cults work, in fact. So Matt Walsh was saying the Pope's letter on immigration is pure nonsense. Some Catholics are soft pedaling it, claiming that he said nothing explicitly, objectively, or false. But he did. He said deportation damages dignity. So that's what the Pope, Bergoglio, said. That is false and outrageously so. Dignity is damaged by the destruction of our national sovereignty. Meanwhile, the Pope, as many point out, lives behind walls himself. From behind the walls, he declares that we shouldn't have any and that the defense of our nation on its identity and sovereignty is morally problematic. He's flat out wrong and doing great harm with blather like this. I mean, this is this topic was like a mishmash, but understand that is a bit hard for me to keep up with opinions, headlines, and it's not simply Tony from San Francisco saying something crazy on X. No, it's Congress representatives, it's the Pope saying nonsense, and they expect us, you know, regular humans to put up with that. So it's not only Americans, it's sometimes citizens of the world at large that they expect us to remain silent because, oh no, you cannot criticize the head of your church. No, well, I for one, I will keep on criticizing everyone, no matter who, if what they say is bollocks or nonsense or BS, because that's how we roll in here. But I would like to know what you think about this in the comments.